one of the things I like about them, and like this is another hobby. Like what's interesting about this movie is it kind of summons all of my movie pet peeves. A lot of the things I like complain about in movies, this movie actually does correctly. And then another thing it does correctly is that these are not idiots. They are not irresponsible. The entire family is really security and safety conscious. They know what they're doing. The children have been drilled on how to handle monkeys. When Hannah, I think it is the like the friend, is scared of the monkey, both Lucy and the father know how to handle it. They don't make fun of her. They're not angry with her. They handle Ben and then they put her at ease, right? Like multiple times. I think I especially liked Lucy in this because of how mature she was and how protective of her friends and her little sister she was and how responsible she was around Ben and all of that, right? Like this is not a typical teen slasher character. This is actually a pretty likable, responsible, mature, grown-up character, which kind of reminds me of Alien, because in Alien 2, they do everything right and they still almost all die, right? Because the alien is just that dangerous. And here Ben is just that dangerous. And I think he's more threatening and more dangerous because Lucy and the father do everything right. They don't take unnecessary risks. They don't ignore the symptoms. They make sure Ben is taken care of and the friends feel safe and all of that, right? And it still goes off the rail. And because of that, it feels more satisfying and it feels more impactful and Ben feels more threatening and the stakes feel higher and the situation feels more dire. It does a lot of things right. It's kind of what I'm saying. But then we have things like, why do you see to the idea that there should be no rabies in Hawaii?
Especially at the fact that when Ben starts acting up, one of the daughters' first thing is, "Oh, he probably has rabies or something like that, or does he have rabies?" So for the father to kind of be a little bit too blasé about the possibility of rabies, but the daughter to be like, for that to be that like the first guess, I was a bit like, unsure, but yeah.
I mean, the thing is, there's not supposed to be rabies, right? So they take the mongoose to the lab and they test it, and the vet calls back and basically says, look, clearly there's been a lab error because the sample tested positive for rabies, and there's no rabies in Hawaii. And so we are retesting and we'll get back to you, right? Like totally reasonable, totally fair, right? It's just too late at that point, right? And then when it comes back the second time, that's when they call the police or the ambulance, right? So again, everybody basically, like the only time somebody acts in an unprofessional or emotional manner in this is when the vet snaps at the dad for mansplaining rabies, right? Like the dad says, but there's no rabies in Hawaii. And it says, yeah, well, thank you for your professional advice as a veterinarian, right? Which is totally unprofessional. Like it's a totally fair point. But anyway, that's the only time anybody is unreasonable in this movie, pretty much. After that, they say, okay, we got to retest this. We got to get to the bottom of this.